Welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody. Tony Baccigalupo here, and I've got Rosie Sherry here as well. Hey, what's up, Rosie? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for being up for partaking of this totally wild experiment. For everybody who's tuning in, I just posted this idea, and Rosie was game for trying it. I called it code name Test Kitchen, Community Test Kitchen, where we try out a new platform. There's so many of these social platforms out there now for community builders. It can be hard to make sense of all of them. And I'm a nerd for them. Rosie, I get the sense you're a nerd for social platforms as well. So, what we thought we would do is that we'd put on the camera and we would just try one of the platforms out, and you can follow along as we just narrate our way through learning how to play with one of these platforms and the features of the back end, and maybe actually organizing a little impromptu gathering where anybody who's tuning in can just jump in and help play with the tool with us. And so what we're going to do is, in a moment, I'm going to pull up the platform of the day, which is Gather.town, Gather.town, which is a platform that's been around for a good couple of years now, actually, and gives us a little bit of how do you describe it, Rod? Like a Zelda environment for little avatars to walk around and talk to each other in.
Yeah, old school gaming type vibe, I think.
Yeah. Have you used Gathertown for anything yet, Rosie?
Not really. I think I dropped into one at one point, but there was like no one there, and I left quickly. Um, but yeah, I think it's one of those tools that I think is interesting, and I guess like from what I've seen, they've been focusing on events. But like, I wonder like how you could eventually build a whole community on there, like with people constantly hanging out. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I feel like there's a real opportunity with a lot of different platforms like this for creating a sense of just like shared presence in an event kind of an environment that can be hard to create otherwise. So I'm a fan of definitely, trying to get a better hang of some of these things. Um, so I think what I'd like to do, Rosie, is I'd like to just pull up the screen and we can kind of look at the interface of GatherTown as we go and just kind of talk about what we see as we do it. How's that sound?
Let's go.
All right,
So is
let's
that
go.
a screen share? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a screen share now. Bum, 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 bum. And I've already logged into GatherTown. So what we're going to see here is um, what it looks like when you've logged in. And what I'm seeing right now is some of the spaces that I'm already a part of. These are rooms that I've either created or that I've been in previously. Prime Produce, shouts to Prime Produce, my super favorite co-working community here in NYC, the Guild for Good, where they created a little bit of a hangout space. And NWC is actually the abbreviation for my old co-working space, where I had an anniversary party a couple years back. What we did was we do kind of a party every year for my old co-working community, and I recreated my old co-working space in Gathertown, so people could wander around, and it was the same kind of floor plan as my old co-working space, and yeah, it was kind of fun.
That's
Um,
nice. I love that. All of a sudden, I'm thinking of just like creating my own hometown, my where I live, and like seeing if like random people from my local community could gather where they would normally gather as an experiment.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think today is a chance to experiment with that. So let's get into creating a space. Before we do that, let me just look over here. We have Explore, we have Events, we have MySpace. So if we go to Explore, I think, okay, the page is currently under maintenance, so never mind. And then events, it looks like if you can create spaces or events. So it looks like a space is kind of like a permanent presence,
Okay.
whereas an event is something that is, tied to a specific time. So let's create a space, and I'm going to push the button. And right away, what I see is 3 options. Set up a workspace, so build an office and invite your team. Organize an event, set a date, create a venue, invite guests, or explore social experiences. Check out fun spaces and invite your friends. Which one should we do, Rosie?
I think it's going to have to be social.
Yeah, I completely
What do you
agree.
think?
By the by, if I click advanced setup, it takes me to like the open-ended editor. So we're gonna skip now. For the sake of time and expedience, we'll go straight into the templates. You can see here right away, there's a bunch of templates on the left side, including for seasonal, for conference. And I think these are of different sizes as well. Like this one, 25 to 50 people, which tells me there are ones of other sizes as well, 2 to 25. Oh my goodness, what video game is this reminding you of?
I don't know. Which one?
No, I don't know. I feel like it's reminding me of every like NES Nintendo game that I played when I was a kid.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to remember the games that I used to play, but yeah.
Cyberpunk Dive Bar. Amazing.
So how big? What's the biggest capacity? That would be like interesting to know from a community perspective.
Well, I've seen 100. This says outdoor areas. This says 100 plus. If let's just click over to conference for a second. So these are saying basic conference, all saying 100 plus. It looks like. So, what's the actual limitation for Gather.town? That we may have to check their website and see what they say. Let's look at what Gather.town says. So if we're looking at I always like to go straight to pricing. I feel like pricing is what tells me everything about what somebody does. I see we've got Cass in the house. Cass, welcome. If you want to go on camera and join us, go ahead and turn on your camera and I will bring you up into the studio to come hang with us. And that goes for you, Danielle, as well. Oh, I see you got that. Rosie, should we bring up Danielle?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Danielle, hello, welcome. Very cool. We've got Danielle here. I'm going to bring up Kay as well. So Danielle and Kay, what we're doing is we're just testing out this new platform, Gather.town. Would love to get your thoughts as we go. But we're just narrating this, streaming it out, and talking about what we're seeing as we go. So feel free to chime in as you want.
Great. Sounds good.
And Rosie, do you want to tell us a little bit about the folks who are joining us? Where did people find out about this event that they're joining us in this stream?
Well, I posted it on my Rosieland events, so I don't know. You tell me, Danielle and Kay, where you found out about it.
A friend and coworker of mine sent it over because I love testing out new platforms and technologies, and yeah, just wanted to check it out together.
Absolutely amazing. I'm just pulling up Rosieland now for a little plug, and I believe if I log in here, does that get me into the Discord discourse community?
The discourse is on village.rosieland.
Village.rosieland. Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah, so I was just shout to Rosie, who's been creating a really cool online community, which has just really been very active. How's that been for you, Rosie?
It's good. It's interesting. I'm enjoying the direction that it's going. And I'm really just trying to fill in some gaps of conversations in community that I don't feel are happening and should be happening.
Nice.
And that's why the discourse is there. It's like I felt like there needed to be a more permanent space for conversations.
Before we go back to Gather.town, can you just say a little bit more about where those, like what gaps you're seeing?
Just like I think there's just like a general trend at the moment to be using Discord and Slack for kind of discussions, and obviously those aren't searchable; they get lost
Mm.
easily, things like that. So the idea of like having a discourse is like a forum. It's more permanent. You can take your time. There's no rush to respond,
Mm.
and hopefully it will help people longer term. Um, so yeah, I guess generally that's the idea. But I mean, you know me, right? I put out loads of questions on Twitter, and I kept saying to myself, "It's like I have to stop doing this on Twitter, and I just need to be putting it on a forum so that we can
Mm.
gather like all the stuff there." So that's like kind of part of the reasons behind it as well.
Yeah, I will say one of the so in my background in the co-working movement, have a ongoing community space there that lives on a Discord server as well. It was on a Google group for a long time, and it has proven invaluable over the past 17 years now that there is a living um, place where all of the discussions are, that's searchable, that's in perpetuity. I'm going to bring in Fabian as well, who's joining in. Fabian, hello, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Um, we're just having a little discussion about Rosie's website, village.rosie.land, which anybody can come and join. And then we're going to come back and talk about checking out Gather.town, the platform. But yes, Rosie, so glad you're doing it because there's a lot of discussion. Some of it needs to be archived in a place that more people can find it and in a asynchronous kind of a way.
Yeah,
So I'm with you on that. All right, what do you say? Shall we go back to Gather?
let's go.
Let's do it. All right. So we've got Gather. And when we last left off a few minutes ago, we were talking about what's the capacity of Gather. We noticed that when we were designing the room, that you could have spaces that are designed for 100 plus participants. Just going on to their regular website here, noticing that you've got a bunch of different plans, including a plan that is for 2 hours, $2 per user, which is a very model. So basically, if you're going above 25 concurrent users, you are in the $2 per user or $3 per user per day. So really interesting. I could already see how this scales up in price very quickly. But the capacity is up to 500. So even at the highest level, it looks like 500 is the hard cap, and they might be able to accommodate more if there's something more enterprise level. But it looks like that's what they are offering.
I
Any
guess
other?
that's interesting because like there's a lot of free events, right? A lot of people expect to go to these events for free, and when the host is being charged, that's going to make you think about doing free events. Like if it's going to cost you $2 a head and 100 people
Yeah.
show up, you got to like cost that in.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, this is it seems like Gather is really focusing in on, if you want this to be more than a casual thing for 25 people, then you should be charging for it, or you should be, having this be part of a business model of some kind, that this is a professional platform for professional use. So they're not trying to go like a Zoom route or like a lot of other platforms where you pay a flat rate even. Like, with Zoom for $15 a month, I have a premium account and I can have 100 people come into my event. Whereas with this, 100 people show up and I'm spending, somebody is paying two or $300. So it's a much, much higher price point once you start getting into that. All right, cool. Well, that gives us an idea of what we're up to. Shall we design one of these spaces? What do you say?
Yes, let's go for it.
All right. So what should our first space be? We've got beach bar, open mic cafe, Pride Open Mic Cafe, Tavern, the Captain's Cabin. Do we have any preferences? I'm taking any and all suggestions from our participants here. What are we liking? I'm personally leaning Cyberpunk Dive Bar. That's my vibe.
We can go for that.
Yeah? Okay. Although I have to say, I want to hang out at a bunch of these. Like I want to.
Yeah, I want a town. I want a like Rosieland town or something.
Oh, a town. All right, let's see if we can
But-
create that. That's a great idea. Let me search.
Because
All
it
right,
kind of
there's
seems,
nothing-
it kind of seems like all the spaces are very like small, self-contained spaces, which is fair enough. Maybe like larger spaces are in their plans for the future, because it's like they probably want people to design smaller spaces, because if it's too big, then it probably wouldn't work so well.
It feels a little watered down, right?
Yeah.
I did find a town.
I wonder if the games have actual games that you can play built in.
You know, I think they do. Well, this is packed with athletic challenges. Let's find out. All right. So I clicked on it, and now we've got sprawling urban environment, swimming pool. I feel like I'm buying property right now. Okay, what am I building this space for? Social experience. Are we ready? We're gonna push the button. Let's create this space.
Woo!
Here we go. Woo!
Ooh.
All right, now it is asking for me to connect my devices, which I am going to permit. I'm going to let it use. All right, Rex. Okay, here we go. All right, and ooh, can I edit my character? Ooh, look at this! I get to build an avatar.
Are they
Say, love the hair.
Are they diverse avatars? Is always like the kind of questions that I start asking. I assume they are, but
Yeah. Well, looks like we got somebody who's not obviously a white dude, which is that's an encouraging start. So I'm glad that we've got a little bit going on here. We've got different hairstyles too, and I have to say that's important. You know, if you want to support like diverse avatars, it's not just a matter of like your avatar skin colors. There's just so much about the way that people can express themselves, and I'm loving these hairdos. Like I cannot pull off most of these hairdos personally. All right, what do we think? I'm just gonna with like this bit. Like I like a nice like there we go. All right, and okay, a little blue. Can leave off the facial hair. Oh yeah, we are having some fun with the colors today. I think our friend is suited up. I'm getting married this year, so I'm thinking suits personally. Maybe some classy looking white shoes. Oh yeah. Oh, you could wear one shoe. Why not? All right. And what on earth is going on with these? Oh, these are locked. I guess you could be like a giant penguin or something if you came at the right time. Oh, I could be a graduate. Let's go. Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm finished editing here. So I've got a sweet little avatar. I've got my audio video plugged in. So let's join the gathering. We're only 19 minutes in, and we've now finally actually entered our brand spanking new little Gather town. I'm already getting a little Back to the Future vibes. Hill Valley, anybody? And we got this little character.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right away and try to figure out how to share the link to this so that everybody else can join in as well. I'm assuming I can just use the URL at the top, but I'm going to click the invite button. Invite link will expire after a day, and I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to drop it in the chat so that everybody hanging out with us can come join.
Would you like me to tweet it out as well? See if anyone randoms.
Yeah, let's tweet it up. Get some randoms. Interesting. It says I'm auto muted while away. That's kind of cool. I love when platforms have kind of like handy keyboard shortcuts as well.
Actually, like my memory is kind of coming back. I remember Cortland at Indie Hackers kind of setting up a Gather.town to co-work occasionally. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out here sometimes. If you ever want to come and chat."
Nice.
I never went.
I will say, having used this before, I think the performance has gone way up. It's improved substantially. It just is very, very snappy, which I'm glad to see. See, now video game me just wants to be able to go in here and, go in all these rooms and Danielle's here. Hey. Hi, Danielle. Danielle's on mute, but we can see that Danielle's avatar, when I came close, her window popped up. So if her camera and mic were on, we'd be able to see and hear Danielle. So nice to see you, Danielle. I'm going to keep walking. Bye. I feel like there's all kinds of new social norms for, like, you walk up to somebody and then you just kind of walk away. Rosie, I feel like this is definitely a town, but the aesthetic is not Rosieland aesthetic. This is a little urban.
It is.
All right.
And
so
slow.
Looks like I can enter the gymnastics. Ooh. How does this work? Woo! Danielle, you got to join me in the gymnastics center. It's in the
I'm lost and don't know where that is.
North central part of town.
Not the swimming center.
No. Although I'm very curious about the swimming center.
Oh, I can find you on the right-hand side and then just follow you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if I find you, I can locate you because I'm directionally challenged in Gather.town as well as real life.
Yeah. Hey, woo. Oh, this is great. Okay.
I'm wandering around as well, so.
All right, Danielle, I'm gonna watch. You go right on ahead. I've already stretched out here. Woo, yeah. Rosie. All right, Rosie, get in there. Are you stretched out? You ready? Let's do this. You have to motor all the way over to the left and pass this barrier in order to go play.
So why is it? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do when we're here?
Rosie, I'd say just zoom your little character all the way over to the left and go run the gauntlet here. The digital ninja warrior. Yeah, you have to go all the way to the left. There's a little opening on the left hand side. There it is, and then up. Oh, there you go. There you go. Here she goes.
Ooh.
Woo! Yeah.
Okay.
Whee! Whee! Oh my goodness. This is utterly ridiculous and I love it. Oh, look at you just hanging on. Look, show off, hanging out on the
Can't go
handle.
backwards.
Oh, you can't go back. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I need to get some claps going on my reactions here. This is good. So I have to say, I'm really liking how it's just so snappy. Rosie and Fabian just showed up and it gave me a little connecting screen and now I can see them and then I can see them fading away as they go away. Fabian, woo! I am feeling so strong. Whoa, Fabian climbing up on the handlebars. Little unit testing action going on here, y'all.
We're knock each other over.
Oh, I'm doing my push-ups. Oh, I fell. Crap. Can I climb up? Nope.
So what would you do in a room like this is what I'm asking. How would you gather? How would you choose to gather? What would you choose to do?
Oh, yeah. I totally fair question, Rosie. I have no idea. Aside from just like being silly and running around like this, I don't really see what the purpose is of it. Aside from a demonstration of what it can do. But yeah, I don't know. What would I do with this? I think if we go into some of the other rooms, there might be some other activities. I know that this platform supports like embedded games. And so I'm opening up the editor now and I can see that I can place objects in the space, which is cool. I don't know if this is going to interfere with the physics of being able to, jump and all that. But for example, I'm going to add a little whiteboard over here. And I don't know if that's going to be able to. Yeah, so if I go over to the whiteboard, I can press X to use the shared whiteboard. And it looks like it's pulling up. I'm not sure what this is, but Splendid Armadillo. I love when we get to a point where we have these like fictional animals now. So when we have an anonymous character coming in, we get to be an animal of some kind.
You can do emojis.
Thank goodness.
And you can edit the emojis. So I just put a zombie emoji in.
Nice.
So it's nice to have those preferences. Like with Twitter Spaces, I get annoyed that there's only like 5 emojis that you can choose from.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I feel like Slack had this figured out, and everyone just has to copy Slack now. Yep. All right, so I can definitely see how a shared collaboration space like this works. Looks like this platform is called Eraser. If I'm looking at the upper right corner here. And it's cool because it's got this drawing canvas, which is always kind of messy, isn't it? It's always kind of hard to do as a group. I would prefer something that maybe is a little more like Miro. But I do get to have sticky notes, so that's pretty cool. So we could have some useful stuff happening just using the sticky notes. And then we can type our notes here. So I could see this, Rosie, being useful, right? That we have a collaboration space. Okay, we can do this with a Google Doc. But in this world, we could have different rooms where there's different documents that have been set up with different prompts, maybe inviting different kinds of inputs, uh, different kinds of problem solving opportunities, right?
Yeah, I think like in theory it would work. I think in practice it would be interesting to see actually how it works. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just like I guess like what I'm asking is like where I guess these are your notes. I don't know where it saves it or where it goes afterwards.
A really good point. Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I don't know.
Well, I'm going to copy the link and just leave that tab somewhere where I can go play with it again later. Because I would be curious to see what happens later. You know, does this just kind of die off? How do we come back to it? All right, cool. I'm going to go back out and I want to play with the editor a little bit while we still have a little bit of time, if that works for you all.
There was a dog.
Goes. That would be cool if there was like a dog inside Gather.town. You can go interact with it. Has anybody else discovered anything they want to share? I can also share up screen share access. So if you set up a screen share and want to show me anything you've found, I can bring it up on the screen in the studio. Just unmute heads up, and I will do that. But in the meantime, Rosie,
can you call everyone to go to some place to, for example, everyone is playing around, but you need to start some conference or wherever. So can you call everyone to the same place, for example?
Yeah, there is a self spotlight button. So I'm going to press that and see what happens. Hello.
Hello.
Everybody.
Come meet me in town square.
That's kind of cool, right?
That is all.
Bit weird. It feels a bit weird, but like.
Did it feel a little intrusive for you as a user on the other end?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I guess like if you're in the middle of a conversation, it's gonna like interrupt. But maybe
it would be nice.
Right?
It would be nice if it had like a little chime, you know, like a little like do 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 do, and now an announcement from the organizer.
Yeah, or some kind of agenda maybe, so you can know when something's happening in the actual scenery. So I don't know, maybe the main stage or something.
There's an information board at the bottom right, and it has like announcements there. So maybe Tony
make an announcement.
Yeah. I can't make one. I don't know if it's. I guess it's just you, Tony, because you're special.
And it looks like it has some basic formatting.
Oh, gosh. Hello.
All right. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
So that announcement is kind of showing up for everybody. That's cool. Yes. I like that.
Yes.
New post.
I like that. Yeah.
No, we're just exploring it, and it's kind of being live streamed. We're testing out all the features, or as many as we can. I don't know. I'll follow you.
All right. So
sorry, that was kind of nice. Like, I know Kurosh from other communities, and like to see him appear and just like say hello, that's kind of nice, I think.
That's awesome. That's really great. I'm glad to hear that.
You can cross over this place if you go straight. You can go to the other part of the town. It's
Can
all
you
big
show me? I'll back to the
and
map. Can you show me what you mean?
yeah, you can follow me if you want.
All right, yeah.
So if you go
Going on.
here, you can
It's
cross
like
the
Pac-Man.
world.
Oh my goodness, this town is so much bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's much bigger.
It's now I feel like I'm in Grand Theft Auto a little bit.
I don't know if yes, it's bigger and bigger, so you can.
Oh wow, it
Yeah.
is, isn't it?
Track and field.
Okay,
I'm
this is
just
the
thinking
end.
about the dead end. I'm just thinking about the enormous amount of work that people put into creating these spaces.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I remember seeing somewhere that like people like do it as a job, like designing spaces.
Oh my goodness. Can I be a
That would-
Gather.town map maker? That sounds so delightful.
I can see myself doing a Rosieland one with rainbows
Yeah.
and clouds and waves.
Yeah, and I could see the number of hours.
Like
you could sink
Minecraft
into it.
stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, exactly. I have the map maker open, looking at just how I can play with the actual map, and it is interesting to see, what I can do there. List of objects. I would be very curious to see how I can how do I create a building?
That's interesting.
You know what would be nice is like at the moment, like I'm not sure what buildings I can go in, so I'm like wasting a lot of time like trying to go into buildings. Like there's a gymnastics one, but like what other buildings are there you can go in?
I've seen a number of them. I think if you go straight north from home, from the town square, there is a gymnastics center that Danielle had found.
That's the one we were in, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I believe a swim center.
A swim center. Okay.
Yeah, I have on the screen share here. There is a room called the pool, which again I imagine just means you can just have it. I guess this could be like you could, in theory, have your avatars line up and race each other swimming.
Which would be fun for like one
Yeah.
session, and then we get bored.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Walls and floors.
I guess I like purpose in my activities, and I struggle with the like pointless.
I agree. If you see anything, I suppose I'm the facilitator here, so I have the control. But I want to see if I can find like meaningful stuff to play with.
Like, is there a map anywhere that you can just like click and go to the spaces that are available? That would be useful to me. Is like having a list. Help.
There should.
Just
I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's the mini map at the bottom, but it doesn't seem to really do much other than just kind of help you orient to where you are. I want to say thanks to Danielle, who had to jump out. Great to have Danielle along. Yeah, it looks like there's a real emphasis on exploration. I'm also not seeing how I can like jump.
Mm.
There is a respawn button if I go to
Yeah.
my name in the lower left. So that kind of jumps me back to home base.
Yes, I was trying that.
Cosmos.
I have quiet mode. Okay, I have quiet mode, so maybe I can hear the announcement that you made out loud before.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'll make another announcement. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining, and pardon the interruption, but just thought I'd say hello. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
I heard you anyway.
Oh, well.
That's not working what I expected.
So what can you give like roles to other people so that other people can do stuff?
I can, but it looks
Yeah.
like it requires let me see. Request to lead. I don't know what request to lead means, but
I received
hello
some
to Rosie.
notification.
Hey, everybody. So we're spotlighting Rosie today, and so excited to have Rosie here.
Woo,
Woo, woo.
woo.
Rosie's the best. It looks like all right, I'm going to turn off my spotlight.
Yeah.
It looks like I can promote people's roles, but only with their email addresses. It would be wonderful if I could promote them in real time. If I run into somebody, I should be able to just push a button and adminify.
I just took a photo.
Oh,
Which is pretty much like a screenshot, taking a screenshot. Photo mode, I think.
I guess so. So, Rosie, to your point, you and I care about meaningful connection in community. And right now, what we're seeing is a platform that certainly gives us the ability to play around and do some interesting things. And I can create a meaningful gathering using this platform. It's a powerful tool. But what I'm not seeing is it's necessarily going way out of its way to make it easy for us to have like collaborative, interactive activities.
Yeah.
Like I know that those exist, but we've been messing around in here for a while and we haven't really found a lot of that yet.
Yeah, I think that's a problem because, like, I remember going to like a different event, a different like virtual, whatever you call these events, and just getting lost as I was trying to find my way to where I was supposed to go, and I just gave up. I was like, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't want to find the elevator, go up the lift. They say it's on the top roof, but then like you spend too long trying to get there. So, I don't know what the solution is around that, but I just think like guiding people, signposting, I don't know, that's just kind of stuff that springs to mind. It's like when you're doing something in real life, you have signposts, you have if you're doing a conference, you have an agenda for the day, you know what's happening. And it seems like it's got the information board, which I guess you could do stuff there. but yeah, just like the idea that we've been like roaming around. Obviously, we didn't plan anything here, but
What?
it feels like it's a lot of roaming around and lack of clarity of what to do. But maybe that's part of the fun, and like maybe we have to think about how to design and facilitate these types of events, and like when people like join in, like maybe there's like guides who go up to people as they're coming in, and make sure that they know where they're going.
Right. Yeah, I think there's going to need to be a fair bit of investment in setup. That this doesn't necessarily. Oh, URL must start with HTTPS. Well, if you had told me that when I was making it, I would have done a different thing. Okay. Yeah, that you're going to need to spend some time and some energy on making this work. It's not just going to kind of work perfectly on its own.
And I feel like you probably have to be invested in it, right? So like, yes, you can use some default spaces, but like this one, we just got dumped in the town square.
Yeah.
And can you imagine in real life just getting dumped in a town square? You're going to be disorientated, right? You won't know where to go. You're gonna want to spend some time looking at the map, or even understanding where you need to go. But it's like literally we've been dumped somewhere, which is not great, I don't think.
Yeah. No. Clearly, the effort needs to be made if you're going to use this and you're going to use it for anything other than just kind of like tooling around like we've just been doing, then we're going to need to do a lot of investing in like creating the space and creating a sense of space. I'm just seeing, as you might be seeing on my screen now, there are a number of like instruction tiles and things like that, that maybe will be of greater use if you spend some time getting to know them. Although even this information board doesn't seem like it's actually an information board. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. We're actually getting to the turn of the hour, Rosie. So I'd love to hear any kind of closing thoughts aside from what we just discussed. What would you maybe use this for? You were talking about, having a Rosie land. Would you be interested to kind of like mess around in here and create your own space and invite people to play with it with you?
I would. I'm just still struggling to see why I would, and what I would do. I think like I don't know, like my general feeling at the moment is like online events. It's hard to get people to show up. It's hard to get people to commit. And I think like just like increasingly like it's been just getting harder and harder. So it's like to gather like a good amount of people, or it's like, or like I guess like when you're doing community or building community, you don't want to just like do a huge event where no one knows each other. It's like it makes sense to kind of like scale it up. So like, how can you start like with 5 people? How can you start with a map that's designed for 5 people, and then
Right.
like keep building upon that and keep maybe like co-designing a map together? It's like what spaces can we create and collaborate on? What projects do we want to do as a community?
Right. I would want to see like a very, very specific structure for, why are we here and how do we interact in a way that's meaningful. And then let's use the Gather.town space as a vehicle for that. So Gather.town's not necessarily going to make that for you, but it does give you a really fun tool to play with as a starting point.
I'd love to see examples. I think that's probably what I would end up doing next, is looking for examples of what other people have been doing to get inspiration.
Yeah, I agree. I think the more you spend time in some of the other existing spaces, the more you'll get a sense of where the value is.
What about you? What would you use it for?
Oh, well, great question, Rosie. Thank you for turning that around. I like what I did use it for in the past. I was able to use there were some embedding features that allowed me to show old videos from my old co-working space. Um, and I would do a conference. I would do a conference on here. I would need to invest, as you can see, I would need to invest pretty heavily in the design. Although I imagine if we started with a template for a conference, it would at least give us so I don't have to like draw a map from zero. And I think I didn't see like kind of what the map drawing features looked like, but I think it's because we started with a template that it kind of took care of that for us. But I do recall it being relatively labor intensive. So I would do a conference on here. I would maybe have an event where okay, so this is a good kind of follow on to what you were saying, Rosie, is I would do an event where running around and getting lost in the space is maybe not really part of the equation, unless I was specifically creating a game for that. So like I'm into kindness rocks, kindness rocks that are like these cute little painted stones, like I would almost want to create an environment where you have to like go find little Easter eggs hidden in the environment, and every time you come join, it's a different, like I rearrange, where the Easter eggs are hidden. And when you reach those Easter eggs, there's like some interactive element. There's a puzzle piece, or there's like a puzzle to solve, and each puzzle has an answer that contributes to the larger puzzle. And the first team to come back and find all the answers wins. So then there's some sense of like, okay, you've got your team of people, and you have to go find all the different hidden pieces. So now you're like, your avatar, like tooling around in this big landscape, has some sense of purpose, and you're trying to find these little like hidden rocks or hidden stones or something, colorful objects. And when you click them, there's some embedded, puzzle that you can interact with. So I think something like that would be fun.
I like it. I think you can also like have like when they land on something, you can add like informational blocks or videos and all those kind of things. So that could be quite fun.
Yeah, I like it. All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I now definitely have a much greater comfort with this platform, and I'm kind of psyched about the idea of creating like a little Easter egg hunt. So maybe we'll create an event for that for some purpose in the future. I could see an Easter egg hunt being fun as part of a conference too. So like, go check out the whole conference map, and at the same time look out for these Easter eggs as part of a game. Rosie, thanks for taking the time to hang.
Thank you. It was fun.
And yeah, and thanks to Fabian, thanks to Danielle, thanks to everybody who was hanging out with us along the way, and to everybody who tuned in. Hope you enjoyed our little walkthrough of Gather.town and all of its amazing features. Go ahead and check that out at Gather.town. And you can subscribe to this channel to learn more. Head over to rosie.land or check out Rosie Sherry at Rosie Sherry on the socials.
Yeah.
All right. See you, everybody.
Thank you, Fabian.
Bye.
Bye.